Bonjour, good afternoon. I am doing fruit and nut today. You can watch me if you like. Do you want to watch this? This is only doing the fruit and nut that's ready-made. Can you see it? No, you can't really, can you? Well, it's all very full of nuts. I'll show you from over here. So actually, I was trying to impress you, but I did put too much in, so it's going to be quite a hassle to pour it in the molds. But it's going to be very delicious to eat. So I look forward to some feedback. In the oven, I have some almonds. For my other little bit of fruit and nut. They've been very slightly toasted, not as much as usual. Often I leave them in the oven too long and then they are too brown. Some people love them like that, but they lose a bit of their goodness really. So I do try to keep them as gently toasted as I can. So they're just slightly looking like they're golden. These are my tablet molds. I call them tablet because in French this is a tablette de chocolat. So I'm surprised that in English a tablet doesn't mean a bar, it means that thing I'm recording on and something you write on. Well, different language, but I took my French word with me because tablette de chocolat is nice. It's a little table and you can cut it into squares. It's lovely. It makes it tastier when it's called a tablet, don't you think? I think it is. Because anything French sounds tasty, doesn't it? Even if you say, what can you say in French that's extremely tasty? Hibou. Hibou, that's tasty, isn't it? Hibou. Well, hibou means owl, so it doesn't mean a little piece of something, as in a bout de I, as in hibou. I got you there, didn't I? Yes. Because I know you are studying hard your French and you're being very good at doing your best to counteract the British reputation of not learning languages, which is so untrue, it's so unfair. So many of you actually speak quite a bit of French, you know, a few words. Je m'appelle Stéphane often comes up. I'm not sure if they've learned any other names but Stéphane, but that's a favorite phrase. There we are, a little decoration. You probably can't see very well, never mind. One of these days I'll put something high up there. And it goes on the tray here, which you can't see, which is lucky because you'd think I'm being very messy, as the tray is full of other molds. And it should really not be on there, but it should be on my new trolley. Here comes a new trolley. Look at this. Ooh, can you see it? No, you can't? Oh, well, never mind. You can imagine this new trolley is absolutely delightful to look at. It comes from a hospital in Gloucester and they were going to throw it away. My landlord went to fetch some machine to cut some metals that looks very heavy and very nice looking machine. Said he saw this trolley and they were chucking it out. And it's perfectly very well. We changed the wheels and it got a good clean. It got a blessing and thanked all its good work in the hospital, all the people it got better, all the nurses pushing it around, and all the love that's gone into it for caring for people, and now it's caring for chocolate. Thank you, my dear trolleys. Thank you, the NHS, for all your good work. And I'm not saying that for the flu. I'm saying NHS in general. You do your best to help people. And so much is done by you. I'm very grateful for the NHS. You've done me very good favors in the past. Now this is not at all about chocolate, is it? Or we could say it's a little bit about chocolate, and most of all about me rambling about anything else that isn't chocolate. You would love to know the process, wouldn't you? Well, the process is simple with fruit and nut, you see. You blend the ingredients in your pot. You put enough of everything. You put a good handful of this, a good handful of that. Then you blend it and see if it needs any more handfuls of anything else. So you weigh your ingredients carefully using handfuls. One handful is generally about 250 grams, a small handful 130 grams, a tiny handful about 50 grams, you know, that sort of thing. But I couldn't tell you what it's like in ounces. You see, we were lucky in France. We never got to study ounces at maths. I tell you what, it's lucky, because I'm so bad at math anyway that it would have really twisted my head to have to learn ounces and pounds, coins and tuppences. Wow, poor children at school having to learn all this. But there's a thing about 12, isn't it, that it's a sacred number. Don't you have something like 12 in some of the measures that you use? It is a shame to lose all this, really, isn't it? As in, if it's something precious, would it have made the culture into a culture that was, I don't know, more, I don't know what really, more special because it had all this? I don't know. It's going a bit far maybe. Now I'm putting on top the raisins. I've got some yellow Khorag raisins, Green Khorag they're called, but they're actually very light yellow. Can I show you a little bit? I'll come and show you a little bit. You can see I'm keeping a little bit to put in all the batch I'm doing for the mini bars. Well, they're not mini, they're medium bars. And thank you for reminding me to stand straight and not to curve the head forward. As much as possible when doing this sort of job, it's important to remember posture. You never know, we may have a visitor who would love to see someone standing very straight in a beautiful manner making chocolate rather than someone doing this. And I catch myself doing that a lot because of straining, getting close. You know, it's good to remember. Thank you very much. We are going to do another bar now in a mold that's already been used once. Because they go in the freezer, I can only use the molds really a couple of times, and then they get too sticky because the cold makes something happen. Condensation, I think it's called. And because of that, it makes a little layer of moisture at the bottom of the mold. So when I get my tablets out, I do give it a wipe with a nice cloth as in a nice soft one, and use them again, but I will not use them a third time without washing them. Every so often I also check the temperature of the chocolate to check that it's not gone too cold. Has it been interesting so far? I know it has been. You're there, glued to the screen, wondering with delight, when is she going to stop? Yes. Well, I won't be long. I know you love it, really. You're only pretending to complain because it's quite boring watching a chocolatier pouring into molds, isn't it? There's more exciting things in life, like jumping off a plane with a parachute. My father did that. It was something he seemed to have enjoyed, which is very surprising. He was a thin man, but it was after the war, as he was born before the war, so he can't have been jumping during the war. That's the second one, not the first one. He wasn't that old. Alors, temperature 31.4 we've got here. Perfect. Now I'll show you my thermometer because you are there, I can sense it. You're saying, show us your thermometer, show us. So you've got thermometers here. This one is covered in chocolate and this one isn't because it's been cleaned. This one is bought in, I bought them directly from China because it was the cheapest ones on eBay. And I worked with them for about 6 years till I got really fed up of them becoming inaccurate after a little while of using them. After a few weeks, they started showing me a reading that is lower than what it really is. And why I know is because when I poured my chocolate, the chocolate showed that it was too high in temperature by making a certain pattern. So someone said, why don't you look at a proper make, made in Europe? Oh, actually, it's not made in Europe at all, but it's made in China, but it's from, is it Bosch? Yes, Robert Bosch Power Tools from Stuttgart, Germany, and don't put it in the bin. God knows what you've got to do when they stop working. As far as I know, probably the tip, but never mind. Laser radiation, do not stare into beam, class 2 laser products. So yes, don't do that in your eyes, I won't even do it. So you point it at your food and it can measure quite a lot of temperature, up to I don't know how many degrees. And that says the surface here is 25.3 and this one says 23, so you can see there is a big difference. 25.4, 23. This one is a nice screen though, you can see the difference of screens. I do prefer this one, it's easier to see, but this one has been reliable and it came with instructions that said do not put it near humidity, which I didn't know. Well, it makes sense, but I thought they were, guarded so it wouldn't get in there. Don't put it near hot surfaces when you're working. So don't leave it near the gas, which I used to do with this one. So, and what else did it say? Some other advice, I can't remember now. But obviously I used this one wrong, which is why they stopped working after a while. So maybe they weren't that bad quality. It's a matter of looking after it properly, which I didn't know how to because it didn't come with instructions. Or if it did, it was the instructions that tell you some Latin in there and it doesn't make much sense. So what are we temperature-wise? We're chatting too much and not doing our work as usual. 31.5. We'll carry on with putting our chocolate into molds. But how long have you got? It's 14 minutes. Maybe that's long enough for you for today. You can go and have a nap now. I bet you're exhausted from the excitement of watching a chocolatier doing fruit and nut milk chocolate. À bientôt.